What's going on, MSFers? Duelim here, back here with another video, and today we're going to be doing Counter Everything Season 11, and you're going to notice this video is going to be a lot shorter than normal because the room rules kind of suck this season. So a lot of the rooms and changes that you'll see here and the defenses that you see will work in multiple rooms. So if you see a room, if it's in 1, 2, 4 or 5, it'll probably work in every single one of those rooms, and I'll talk about those teams specifically and those counters. Obviously, we're going to need some counters to the raid room and room number 6 as well. So we are going to do that. As always, the timestamps are down below for any counter you need. There will also be a link to the counter sheet as well, so you can see a video of the replay of the fight, so you can see how it goes and how to play it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it! All right, coming into room number 2, we're skipping room 1 because it means nothing. You're seeing a lot of Annihilators dorm in room 2. There's going to be a lot of counters to this. Mercs for money is going to be your best bet, honestly, and you can use like Ares to stop that safeguard on spawn for Gladiator, but then you also need an Emma thrown in there to make sure Gore does not go before and put that safeguard right back on. But yeah, Mercs for money is going to be your best bet here. You can also use an Eternals, APOC, Rolk, and Emma. This will also work for the Dormammu version as well, because obviously Rolk takes those revives away with APOC. Honestly, this team is not too great. It gets destroyed by a lot of things. If it's a smaller Annihilators like mine, honestly, you can Ares New Warriors this as well, but it can get sketchy depending on placement and Ultimus potentially deleting your Gwenpool turn 1, but it's another option for you. All right, next up, we've got Annihilators with Super Scroll. That's right, people have been putting Super Scroll in here because why not? It's all villains. It's a good room for villains. If you see the Super Scroll version, you're just going to Mercs for money and then use a pre-taunt, and you're going to put that pre-taunt next to Old Man Logan. So that pre-taunt soaks up the Super Scroll special, and then it's pretty straightforward from there. Dakin gets a bunch of speed from Super Scroll going under stealth, and then you put the bleeds out there with Dakin special, and then from there you just survive and then you're good to go. It's pretty straightforward, honestly. So let's get the next counter. All right, next up we've got Annihilators, Mephisto, and Super Scroll. So what you can do here on a one shot is you can use Illuminati with Odin. You will need Captain Britain for this, but I want to make sure I'm giving all the options possible. I know a lot of you guys don't have Odin, a lot of you guys don't have Captain Britain, but I want to give all the options possible. So that is a very easy one-shot. It is absolutely cake, honestly. Your other option is going to be Cabal, Odin, and Kang, but it can go wrong, and I have seen it go wrong multiple times, so use that counter at your own risk. And then the last counter is going to be, unfortunately, it's a double sack, making sure Super Scroll is going to open up with his basic. He has to open up with his basic. And then you're going to use Cabal, APOC, and a pre-taunt, and you're going to put a pre-taunt next to Apocalypse. So what happens is I usually put a villain pre-taunt as well, like Zombie Juggernaut, because you need villains to make sure Apocalypse gets the retaliate chance over 100%. So once you do that, Super Scroll will basic. He hits the pre-taunt, and then he hits Apocalypse. Apocalypse counterattacks, gets speed up, goes next. You ult, and then you punch the Gladiator, and then since Gladiator will be dead or below 50% life, then the Cabal members can put vulnerables out there, and then from there, it's extremely easy. But you do have to be specific on how you sack the team. All right, we're talking about Orchis, and this is going to apply in rooms 1, in rooms 2, in room 4, and in room 5. So Orchis here, if it is a very small punch up or punch across, you can use New Warriors. There is some RNG to it, so if it does not work, do not blame me, blame RNG. They have block chance on spawn, so there's a potential that Gwenpool will not strip the immunity, or possibly the taunt from the minion that Sentinel spawns on spawn, and you will have a bad time from there. Your next good counter is going to be Kang, Tangled Web, Guardian, or Moonstone. I've seen the Moonstone variant too. Guardian is good, though, for the offense up on spawn. And Kestrel. Kestrel obviously stops those on-spawn bots. Kang goes extremely fast and steals speed up from them, as well as putting speed up on himself, and he goes extremely quickly. And then Tangleweb will get a good stun on Nimrod, and then once those charges are up, Omega Sentinel pings will miss, Lady Deathstrike will miss, pretty much everything misses except for a Sentinel, but obviously, and then Nimrod is stunned. So that's going to be one of your best options, is that Tangleweb, Kang, Guardian, and Kestrel. All right, coming into your favorite room and mine, the raid on Crucible. We're going to be starting with Nightstalkers. And Nightstalkers are the newest raid team, and they absolutely suck in this room. So full Nightstalkers can be beat by Pegasus. It gets absolutely destroyed by Pegasus, and it also absolutely gets destroyed by Spider Society in 3 or 4 turns. Nightstalkers is not good in here. I honestly think New Warriors could even work here because of the speed on spawn that Deathpool gives to Mystic characters in Raid, so that could be a potential as well, but I haven't seen that one work, so use that at your own risk. That's not my problem if it doesn't work. Now, we could talk about Mephisto with Nightstalkers. This, you can obviously double sack and then New Warriors, double sack and then Pegasus, or you could just one-shot it with Spider Society. That's right, Spider Society. You don't need Odin. You just one-shot it with Spider Society, even with a Mephisto in here. If you want to make it safer, you can absolutely use Odin as well and drop Noir. But Spider Society is the way to go in this room on offense. So let's get into the next defense in room number 3. All right, next up, if you see Spider Society in room number 3, all you're going to do is mirror it. That's right. If you mirror it, they will not spawn with speed up, and you will, because of how on-spawn works. The passive works on offense, but doesn't work on defense. So you just mirror it, you target Peter B, and you hit auto, and walk away and come back to your victory. Other options that are going to be great are Super Scroll and Hivemind, dropping Venom, obviously. That counter works extremely, extremely well. It does require a pretty big Hivemind and a pretty decent sized Super Scroll as well, because you want to make sure you're doing enough damage to get them low. Now, if you do see people putting in Spider Society with Mephisto and they take out Noir, they take out Gwen, it doesn't matter. Guess what? You can Hivemind SuS Odin this on a one-shot, or you could just Spider Society it. Once again, that's right. Spider Society also deletes this without Odin. Again, you can throw in Odin if you want a little bit of help. If you want, you can also double sack this and use Hive SuS if you do not have Odin and do not have Spider Society on offense. All right, I forgot one more variant for Spider Society, and this is with Northstar in here, and I do think this is the best defense you can run in 3 that does not involve Mephisto, because the only real good counter to it is Spider Society itself. So if you do not have Spider Society on offense, I'm going to be honest with you, you're kind of screwed. I was able to pull off an Odin 3-piece Hivemind and Black Cat as well. I had to think about that one because I forgot what I used. And it barely won. And it was Big Boy Odin, and Odin was the only one that lived, and it was a pucker fest from start to finish. So please refer to my video from yesterday regarding having Spider Society on offense for this entire Crucible season, or be forewarned, this is gonna suck. All right, coming into room number 3 still. I doubt we're going to see this, but if you see Hivemind on defense, all you do is Alpha Flight it. If it has a Mephisto in here, you could do Alpha Flight Odin as well. If it has a Super Scroll in here, you just Alpha Flight it. Alpha Flight Northstar specifically just destroys the turn meter of Hivemind. I have yet to see it on defense this season, but if for some reason you do, Alpha Flight it, don't even think about it, and it gets deleted. All right, next up is Nightstalkers, and specifically in room 4, this is going to be an easy kill for new warriors. I've done up to a 1.8 million punch up with this in room number 4. It goes great because of the room rules. Now, if you see it in rooms 1, 2, or 5, new warriors can still work. They just don't scale as well. Another great option is going to be Superior 6, especially when you start getting into those 5 million Nightstalkers that I see a lot that suck. Literally, Superior 6 just rolls over this very quickly. All right, next up, we've got Orchis with Black Knight, and this defense sucks. And this can be put in a lot of different places. I've seen this in 1, 2, 4, and 6. And this is a really hard defense. If you really want to get greedy, you could try a new warriors full send on this, but I would not. A safe bet would be 1 sack, and then new warriors can work really well here because they won't have the Scientist Supreme ult putting that offense down right away. Black Knight won't have charges, all that good stuff. If not, you're going to want to Cabal and Kang this on a one-shot. Cabal and Kang can absolutely delete this because Kang goes super fast, gets that speed up because he steals their speed up, and then deletes Black Knight usually with 1 basic, and then you get a crit, and then Cabal goes zoomies. Regular Cabal will not do well here at all. So like Cabal with like Vulture and Emma will not work because there's no heroes to give Vulture speed. So be careful on that. But yeah, this defense is definitely very difficult. So do not underestimate it at all. All right, coming into room number 5. The only team I've seen in here is Rogue with Forge, Nightcrawler, Gambit, and Absorbing Man. If you see it, the Nightcrawler version, you should probably Superior 6 it. If you see like a Dormammu thrown in here as well, Superior 6 it. Now, if you'd see this room without Nightcrawler, guess what you can do? You could do Ares New Warriors or APOC New Warriors to make sure they don't spawn with the taunt and safeguard. Well, with the safeguard, Gwen will take off the taunt, and then you could target who you please, and this room goes very smoothly. That is literally the only thing I've seen anybody running in room 5 outside of treating room 5 like a blank room and using teams that we talked about before, such as Orchis or anything like that. But yeah, it's literally just another terrible room that just does not do anything. So this is the only team I've seen in there worth talking about. All right, coming into room number 6, everybody's got immunity, everybody's got defense up, everybody's got safeguard on spawn. They're essentially Infinity Watch, but they can't heal. So the first defense we're going to be looking at is Annihilators with Mephisto. And there is a one-shot on the counter sheet. It is Sinister 6 with Odin and APOC. The Sinister 6 members are going to be Mysterio, so they don't spawn with immunity. And when I say they, I mean Gladiator. Green Goblin Classic, obviously, he's one of the best ones on the team. He is the team. And then Kraven. And this worked pretty well, but you do have to use APOC and Odin in a single room, which is not the best. I honestly think Superior 6 with Slayer, Mysterio, GGC, Kraven, and Odin can one-shot this. I don't think you needed the APOC, honestly, but that's just me. I really think you don't need it at all because they're not going to have immunity, so you're going to be able to put that heal block on them, rewind them, do all that damage and all that good stuff. So I think that could work. I also think you could probably slot in Ares instead of APOC for that first counter that we talked about. Just because you probably don't need the damage if you already have Odin in there. What damage do you need outside of Odin? None. So those are going to be your main counters for this. As for a double sack, you could double sack New Warriors Ares this, and that is super easy. Ares takes off the safeguard. New Warriors deletes everybody. If you have a tiny New Warriors and it's a massive, and I'm talking like over 5 million Annihilators, and you are scared, use APOC. Because APOC gives extra damage, and obviously APOC is damage, but that's going to be your other best option for this room, but it is a double sack. All right, next up is what I recommended to put in defense on week number 1 in room 6. We've got SuS+Hive+BK, and this one is surprisingly easy. All you got to do is Cabal, Ares, and Kang. Now, it does take a Cabal and Kang to beat it, but it does beat it pretty handedly, which is really, really nice about it. That's going to be pretty much your best option for this, honestly. With SuS and BK in one room, it's automatically calling for Cabal. Figure it out in other rooms. I want to use Cabal in room 2, in room 1, in room 4. How do I use Cabal 3 places? Shut up and use Cabal here if you see this. All right, next up, we've got full Illuminati, and Illuminati in room 6 is kind of good. They don't heal, but boy, oh boy, are they tanky. So the one shot for this is you could absolutely mirror it, or you could do that Superior Sinister 6 and Old Man Logan comp. You just have to use Ares as well to make sure there is no safeguard for them. So it's essentially Ares, Old Man Logan, Green Goblin, Craven, and Vulture, and it works very, very well. Now, there are some variants that people are using for this. They are throwing in Odin. Odin sucks. He's terrible. This room is absolutely horrible to face. I would say sack this and mirror it and pray, because this is absolutely terrible. If for some reason you have this on defense, you're going to sack this. Then you're going to use the same Superior 6, but you're going to use APOC and Old Man Logan here to just pray. It's not going to go well. It's going to suck, but that's pretty much your best bet here. If they end up throwing in a Black Knight in here, what you could do is APOC and mirror this. You'll just drop Stretchy Boy just like they did, and you will do pretty well. It doesn't even matter for coin flips. It works pretty well. Now, if you are punching up a lot, it may not work very well for you, and then it would be better to just sack it and then use Illuminati without APOC, and it'll do great. Your other options here are a sack and then the same Superior 6 Old Man Logan comp, but that's if you need to do it. Next up, we've got Mephisto as well, and Illuminati Mephisto would get beat by Illuminati Odin. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. It's not too bad at all. If not, double sack this and then do the same Superior 6 Old Man Logan Vulture comp, and it'll go great.